I'm going to use this can. Try not to make too big of a mess. Oh. I'm doing girl lunch because I'm sick of fast food and my stomach hurts from it. I don't know how people eat that on a consistent basis and feel okay. Because if I have it for just a half a week, my stomach hurts. So I already cut up an avocado. Oh, I gotta fix this. I'm making some form of guacamole without onions and tomatoes. Avocado, lime, and seasoning, and I see a hair. When I went to cut the avocado, I dropped the pit in the floor and got avocado on my floor mat. But thank God it's plastic, so it just wiped right off. And I'm at a McDonald's, but I'll never support them again. Not after their worker turned in damn Robin Hood. You make it all that way, and it's a damn minimum wage worker that damn sends your ass to prison for life. Potentially the death penalty. We're going to look into that because he has, his name's Luigi Mangoni. I really tried. He comes from a very wealthy family who owns real estate. They own country clubs. They own all kinds of stuff. He went to Penn State. He grew up in Maryland. I do believe his family lives in San Francisco or San Diego now. He went to Ivy League schools his entire life. But something that I did read is that he didn't like that. He actually was trying to distance himself from his family and stuff. He didn't like coming from money. So I find that interesting. He didn't like that his family had all of this notoriety, and he was not a fan of it. Which is surprising, you know what I mean? Somebody did too good of a job raising you. Somebody did too good of a job. Where is crackers? I hope there's still some left. Jeez Louise. Well, I got pretzels. It's okay. I forgot. I guess I ate them in my sleep and didn't know it. Alright. Oh, I'm trying to get comfortable and my thing is falling down. Banana. So, apparently, Luigi had a back surgery because he had 4 discs next to the C4s, and I know this because I have a slip disc that's a C4, and it's down there at the base of the spine, the bottom of the spine. That x-ray that he posted on X a while back was actually his spine. They had done surgery, and I'll show y'all pictures in a second. I'm starving. I worked out, and I'm so hungry right now. Where'd that knife go? I don't want to dirty that again. Please stay. I actually woke up craving girl lunch. So I got avocado mash to go with my pretzels and that. So, it looks like, from everything that I've been able to find, it looks like he went off to college, he graduated in engineering, Sounded like he had his whole life ahead of him, and at some point, he had to have back surgery. Something that I noticed is how much weight he's lost. He was working for a car company, and he lost that job back in 2023. This is when friends and family say that he started isolating, which we all know is not good. He had an extreme... He had a liking for Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. I want to show y'all pictures. So if you look here, he was actually a pretty fit guy at a healthy weight. Look at his booking photo. Look how much smaller he is. So he's been isolating since he lost that job. And clearly not doing well. Investigators are now combing over his social media, and they found on, what is it called? What is that book company? Book Easy? Book Ready? There's a book website where you can view literature, and he had a lot of stuff from Ted Kaczynski on there, but also other stuff against the, what is it, like, trying to think of what it's called. Capitalism. There you go. Yeah, so he actually had a manifesto on him when he was arrested. They haven't released all of it, but it did say, sorry I had to do this. I'm sorry for any strife or grief that I've caused or trauma that I've caused. And he said that this had to be done. So he wasn't doing well. I'm not making excuses, but I'm just trying to look into his mind a little bit and see where he was at emotionally, mentally, physically. It's clear that he lost some weight this past year. Friends report that he actually, they all went to surf, and he couldn't surf because of his back. He was always in extreme back pain. Prior to the surgery, though, he was an avid rock climber, surfer. He was always out doing something. And then he had this surgery. He tried to go back to life as normal. Y'all, those rods that they put in his back are like this long. They're huge. Like, imagine walking around with that. And here's the thing. I'm going to look at my notes in a second. But it said that he had to have this surgery because of these slip discs. I just don't see how a 20-something-year-old kid needs this. It's medically necessary. It didn't seem like it was to me, but maybe that's why he did it. Clearly. He looks completely different than he did last year on Instagram. His family finally came out and gave their condolences to Brian Thomas's family. Thompson. He was actually reported missing. Luigi, the shooter, was actually reported missing November 18th. It appears that he was in San Diego, San Francisco, where his parents live, with his mother, and then he just went missing. Now, we know that he got to New York on the 24th of November, I do believe. Guac. He ain't gonna need no money for lawyers. They already started a GoFundMe. He'll have millions overnight. He'll have the best damn legal team. Yeah. He'll have the best. They've already started a GoFundMe. So even if I doubt his family would turn their back on him, but they sounded remorseful in the statement for his actions, and that's what I like to see. That whole Brian Laundrie case, those parents, I can't believe that it was a McDonald's worker, man. That's another thing. People online have been clowning this worker. The worker said that they knew immediately who he was from the eyebrows and the eyes. Damn phone charger is going dead. So it says, in the weeks leading up to the shooting, he became estranged from his friends and family. Look at this x-ray photo. Ooh. I don't see why a 22, 3, 4-year-old child would need this. It's unnecessary in my opinion. Like, I don't know what he had going on. That's what I'm looking for because I have notes on what happened. But he couldn't go back to life as normal after this. He was in extreme back pain all the time. Anytime he even tried to get out and socialize with friends, he would be in such extreme pain, they would have to quit their activities. One of his roommates from Hawaii said that his back issues were so traumatic and difficult that one basic surfing lesson left him bedridden for a week. You know, I want to know why he had this surgery and if it was medically necessary. Because here's a rich young kid who seems perfectly healthy, who was an outgoing boy until he went under surgery. What are the chances? Just hear me out, this is hypothetical, but what are the chances that these doctors saw an opportunity to make money off of him for years to come? Painkillers, more surgeries, because he was about to have an additional surgery, which was very concerning for him. He had another surgery scheduled. I'm just saying, what are the chances? And we know that they did it with children. What are the chances that they maimed him in an attempt to make money off of him for years? Who's to say? This is alleged. I'm just getting your gears grinding. Because it happens every day. That behavior happens from doctors, medical professionals. That's the industry that we have. I mean, I'm not saying that he did it intentionally, but isn't it concerning that a 20-year-old kid needs that amount of rods in his back for a simple slip disc or pinched nerve? Because that's what it was wrote out as. Hold on. A lot of his friends said that after the surgery, he went completely crazy. Absolutely crazy. End quote. He changed. All around the board, everybody said this guy was not only kind, considerate, sweet, but everybody said they never had an issue with him, never saw him in an argument. Like, he was, a great guy. But he had one friend that it looks like he would go surfing with, RJ, and then, they would get out there and he would be in so much pain they'd have to carry the boards back and quit their surfing. And then there was another friend, Martin, that he would go rock climbing with before he got the surgery. So this is what one of his friends said. quote, his spine was kind of misaligned. He said his lower vertebrae were almost like a half-inch off, and I think a pinched nerve. I just don't feel like that's, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Somebody chime in. Does that sound like he needed 4 damn rods and 18 screws in his damn back? A pinched nerve? He wasn't in a relationship because he knew that he couldn't be intimate with anyone, and he couldn't be physically intimate with a woman, so that's why he stayed single. He told that to a friend. Listen, I'm a sympathizer. Listen, this poor kid, I mean, it's wrong what he done, but it sounds like he fell into isolation, and we all know that that's not healthy in the slightest, especially for people that are already having mental health problems. And clearly, he was suffering from depression. Yeah, clearly. This stuff is so good. A lot of his friends said that they hadn't seen him in 6 months to a year. A group of them, Martin, the one he would rock climb with, said that he hadn't talked to him since June or July. I just didn't know that major back surgery with rods and all of that equipment was necessary for a pinched nerve. Maybe I'm wrong, but it sounds like he was never able to recover from this back surgery, and then he was left maimed to the point he couldn't have a social life, he couldn't have a girlfriend, he couldn't even dream of a future because all he knew was pain from this surgery that they told him that he needed. I feel bad for the guy because I've witnessed people that were disabled in that manner. They still had the spirit and the light in their eyes to get out and go rock climbing. And ironically, I told you, somebody I dated, his father had fell 30 stories on a job site and miraculously survived. He was bound to the basement for the rest of his life. Never saw him again. Hooked on painkillers. The son would end up hooked on painkillers. The whole family was torn apart because of this accident that left the father disabled. And he fell into depression. He fell into the basement. He never came out. He was depressed, and that's how he spent his last days. It's unfortunate, but I've seen how a physical disability can take somebody out, not only physically, but mentally and spiritually. Like they lose themselves because of the depression of being, whether it's wheelchair bound or paralyzed or, God forbid, I mean, it's horrible. I can't imagine how this kid felt. And you got to think, he's 20-something years old at this point. So he's ready to live life. He just graduated college. He's got a master's, a bachelor's, engineering. He went to a private school, an all-boys private school, from 6th grade to 12th grade. He graduated as a valedictorian, and he had his whole life planned. It looks like he moved to Hawaii after the surgery to kind of recuperate, and it never happened. And that's essentially when he kind of went missing with his friends. They do believe that he had been living at home in San Diego or San Francisco. I get them mixed up. But like I said, he went missing on November 18th. His mother couldn't find him. It was radio silence across the board. Nobody could get in touch with him. They didn't know what happened to him. They already knew he wasn't doing well. And clearly through the pictures, in my opinion, the weight loss, I don't know. It seems like he fell into a depression and then drove himself crazy like Kaczynski. That isolation and then believing in things that general society doesn't believe in, kind of borderline conspiracy theories. But here's the thing. Y'all know how I feel about Ted. I have a lot of empathy for his situation, and I have a lot of empathy for this kid, Luigi. Man, to be that McDonald's worker, though, I mean, can you even go back to work at that point? I mean, you better take the $60,000 money and damn go find a new job, because you're literally the most disliked person in America right now. You know what's crazy is that he made it, 300 miles from New York to Pennsylvania, where they found him in a tuna or something. It's a weird name. A tunia? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Me too. Look at me. Mine's ovulation, though. I only get depressed like this when I'm going through financial stuff. I'm sorry you're not feeling good today. They said that the McDonald's worker called law enforcement, that they've recognized his eyebrows, his eyes. They said that they walked into the McDonald's and said, "Hey, have you been in New York lately?" And they said he started to tremble. I don't know if I believe that. I really don't, because he was so calm, cool, and calculated. And then all of his booking photos and stuff, he looks concerned. Like, I'm concerned for him. Like, he's got that Ted Kaczynski look in his eyes. The straight up head and the distant look. Kid was not doing well. I don't know if I believe Eric Adams after Eric Adams lied. Is that his name? The mayor. He said that the cops rolled into the McDonald's and was like, "Hey, what's your name? Have you been to New York lately?" And they said that he started trembling. He wasn't trembling when y'all pulled him out the cop car. He wasn't trembling, in the booking videos. He wasn't trembling then. Yeah, I don't know about that. Damn, I hope I didn't get that oyster on my stuff. Alatuna. What in the heck? Never even heard of that. So he was raised in Maryland, has ties to San Francisco, California, New York. His last address was Honolulu, Hawaii. And remember, his friend said he ain't talked to him in 6 months or so. But his mom reported him missing, so he was staying with the mother, because his friend ain't seen him in Honolulu since June or July. So it sounds like whatever he went through this damn year, the past 6 months, you know what's crazy is that everybody's like, "Oh my God, he had everything going for him." Well, from what I read, he didn't want it. And he didn't appreciate corporate America. He was over it, honey. I mean, not a rich kid with a conscience. I don't even know how to act. And it was heartless to kill Brian, but I'm saying, how often do we see rich kids? Look at his booking photo. I mean, this is when they got him out of the sheriff's car. You might not be able to see it. He doesn't look like he's shaking to me. He looks like he's damn committed. So he had 1 degree in engineering, and he had a master's degree in computer science. So he was on the fast track. Computer science, that's technology. Did he read freaking Ted's Manifesto and then switch everything up? He was about to, computer science, he was about to be thoroughly involved with technology, AI, things like that. Something made him go off the rails. So it looks like he was employed at a data engineer. It's a car company. It said on one of his online profiles that he worked there, but the company spokesperson told the BBC that he had not worked there since 2023. So he's been out of work at least almost 2 years. 2023, some part of 23 from January to, I couldn't find out what year his back surgery was because I kind of wanted to timeline his psychological, you know what I mean? Like, what could have happened? Damn it. I got this damn oyster sauce on my damn thing. Y'all, we gonna have to clean this good because I'm not, The whole car will stink. Smell like oysters. Hey, 1 scoop. I'm not full, but I still have half a banana, so. So apparently, he's got family that's also, I think, the House of Representatives or something. He's got family that are deeply involved in politics. A cousin. These people were filthy rich, y'all. Stuff dreams are made out of. They own real estate companies and country clubs. They were rolling in it. And where is this? Fabuloso never hurt nobody. But did you die? What? I'm sorry. Man, dealing with parents can be difficult, man. I know if my mama was alive, we'd probably be smacking each other upside the head every week. It's like, oh, it gets easier the older you get. Sometimes not. If you got damn toxic parents, sometimes not. My parents were definitely toxic. I do miss my mother, though. I'd rather have her here to damn beat the hell out of me every day than not have her at all, for real, but it can be hard. I know. But it's sometimes better to get away than damn make things worse. Take some space. Separate for a little while. Let this dry. I got Fabuloso everywhere. Hair. I just got out of the shower. I do not feel like doing makeup or anything. Oh, containers. Do they have storage spaces there? Do they do that in other countries? That's what I'm saying. Me too. I don't think my parents like me at all. I mean, I know my mother, like, loved me because I was her daughter, but I question if she even liked me. You know what I mean? So, I'm sorry, I missed something. Did I, like, knock out for a minute and, like, start talking about how perfect I was? I missed something. Did I black out and, like, have a seizure and I was like, oh my God, I'm so perfect? I missed something. Speaking of which, I saw this lady having a seizure in a grocery store, and she was pushing the buggy, but her husband was right behind her, and as soon as she passed out, he knew exactly what to do. He, like, flips her around, starts beating her in the chest. I didn't know you're supposed to smack them in the, what is that, sternum? Slap them in the sternum. I was looking for her. I was like, wow, what a good husband. It looked pretty rough. She, like, was about to have a seizure and fall down. And he, like, pinned her to the buggy and, like, held her hands. And then flips her around and starts beating her in the chest. And she wakes up. She's like, what's going on? I have stuff all on my teeth. I literally just brushed my teeth. Come on, man. Y'all. Tell me why I'm going to go to school just to damn get a new computer. That's where I'm at right now. Like, seriously. I don't know what's going on. It's, like, frozen. I'm really wondering if he got a copy of that manifesto and fell into a depression and... That's crazy to me, to have all the promise in the world and throw it away and then end up not liking the fact that you're from money and capitalism and stuff. Like, he went off the deep end. I have some stories. I wonder how many people that manifesto has influenced throughout the years to do crazy acts of, like, vigilantism and I mean, kill people. Ted's manifesto. It's 35,000 pages. Excuse me. Now, I've only read maybe like 75 pages of it. I'm 35,000 pages. That's a long-term commitment. Oh, that's a long-term commitment. Luigi Mangoni. Can y'all believe I can say the name? I know, me neither. Let's see what's going on. So y'all want to hear something crazy? Y'all think this is crazy? There was a guy a few years back, a father, David, a mother, Cindy, and their 2 children, 2 boys. It was David, I think it's pronounced Barara. Listen, Hispanic name. I'm not good at English. Barajas. Anyways, David and Cindy were driving home. They had all been out to dinner with all of their children. Cindy had a newborn baby. They were married. They both had a newborn baby. And the couple had sons, an 11-year-old Caleb, and David Jr. and Caleb, 11 and 12. And they broke down about 100 meters before they made it home, and the kids were joking that they could push the car home. David was kind of reluctant at first. He was driving because it was so dark. But he finally agreed because the kids were like, they were bugging him. They were like, we can push it, it's not far. And that's what I wanted to see. How far is 100 meters? Because listen, I speak in inches and miles. 100 meters to feet. Oh, 328 feet. That's not far at all. That's not far at all. So they weren't far from home. 100 meters, the report said. So the kids get out of the car. They get back behind the car, and they're going to push the car with their parents and the new baby in the car when a Chevy Malibu with a man named Jose, I can't say his last name either. This was a pretty popular story at the time. This happened in 2012. And Jose was drunk. He was twice the legal limit. He hit the kids from behind, essentially smushing them. People went flying everywhere because David was actually out of the car when this happened. So David went flying in a ditch, the father. Caleb was the first one that the parents found. The mother, Cindy, said that she initially didn't know what the hell happened. She grabbed the newborn to kind of console the newborn, to make sure the newborn was okay. And that's when David got out of the ditch and somehow managed to stumble to find Caleb. Caleb was seriously injured. He had lost one of his legs. He was actually trying to stand up at first, and David had to tell him, no, you can't do that. He would continue to go in and out of consciousness until EMS got there. EMS put him in the unit to rush him to the hospital, and that's when they started looking for David Jr. The cops actually prevented Cindy and David Sr. from even seeing David Jr. There were reports potentially that he was completely cut in half. The father actually suffered broken bones, arm, wrist. The mother was okay. The infant was okay. But the 2 eldest sons were killed. By the time Caleb made it to the hospital, the blood loss from the loss of a limb, they were not able to save him. They were so cute, y'all. Now, this kid that hit them, Jose, he was only 20, and he had actually just had an infant daughter weeks prior to this. Prior to EMS getting there, this is where this turns into a vigilante, potentially, story. Prior to EMS and the police getting there, something happened. Somebody killed the 20-year-old drunk driver that was driving the car that impacted these children and this family on this road. When the EMS and the police got there, they noticed that the driver of the Malibu that had smashed into the back of this, I do believe it was a van, they noticed that he had a gunshot wound to the head. There was no gun in the car. There was no way he, did this himself. This was homicide, and the cops immediately ruled it a homicide, and the first persons that they looked into was David Sr. They alleged that he had walked home, got a gun, come back to the scene of the crime because his house wasn't far. One thing we know for sure, from the time of the accident to when the gunshot went off was exactly like 7 minutes. So there was the crash, and then 7 minutes later, neighbors heard gunshots. The prosecution would go on to charge David. He would do a few years in jail. He would eventually get acquitted because there was no evidence other than speculation to even assume that he had the means to do this. He did not own a firearm. He was never reported to be seen with a firearm. And here's the thing. I think that there was a lot of people that wanted David free because I think that, honestly, I think that he did it. Just my opinion. He, saw his children brutally killed. I'm sure that is shocking to see your son without limbs bleeding out in front of your eyes. I'm sure that is probably one of the most saddest things you'll ever see your child go through if you have to go through that. I can't imagine. His pride and joys, his two sons, remember they had a baby girl, but these were his two oldest boys. They ended up acquitting him. I wonder how many years he did. It's a really sad case, but it was a drunk driving case, and after years of legal battle and fighting the district attorney who kept saying that, David Sr. did this, even though there was no evidence, they finally let him out of jail. And I don't know. Do y'all remember this case? Oh, Lord. I'm sorry, y'all. Let's see. It's David. Bajada. At the time, this was really popular because everybody kind of empathized if he did do it. Everybody empathized with him because these were his kids. And now I can't find the damn article. What is going on today? So it looks like for 2 years he fought this. And then in 2014 he was finally acquitted. He never said that he did this. He always denied. Him and his wife always denied that they were involved in this, the slaying of Jose. Baharas? So it looks like he was acquitted over charges that he shot and killed a drunk driver who had earlier hit and killed his two sons. Unfortunately, those parents have to go on remembering that night for the rest of their life. I can't even imagine. They said that the youngest boy's injuries were so bad that the cops would not even let them see them. Cindy and David Sr. It was so, there was bodies everywhere. The kids, David, everybody got thrown, But the cops, Caleb, I guess it was so shocking that David was with Caleb until the cops got there. They couldn't find David Jr. The cops found David Jr. and they blocked off the scene, and he was not alive. It's just one of those cases where it's like, What would you do in a fit of rage when you just literally, saw your life being destroyed? You just got mowed down in the road by a drunk driver. And once again, I want to reiterate that Jose's blood alcohol level was twice the legal limit. I'm not saying he deserved to die, but a lot of people online look at this as an eye for an eye, a life for a life. And actually, Jose still owes him one, I feel horrible for that family, but I do believe that they're going to have more kids, and they have. I mean, it doesn't fix it, but it's like those people that lost their 3 kids and then had triplets. Who was that? That's a great one. I forgot about that. It was a wife and a husband that lost their 3 kids in a I don't remember how. Couple's 3 kids. It's kind of a crazy, sad, but like twisted face. Yeah, it looks like they lost them in a car accident. Parents who lost their 3 kids in a car accident gives birth to triplets. If that ain't God, I don't know what is. That's just, wow. I can't remember the details. I feel like this was featured on Oprah like 20 years ago. Please don't argue, y'all. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I feel like it was Oprah or something. So it said in May of 2007, just one day after her son Kyle's 5th birthday, Lori Coble was waiting in traffic in the family's minivan with Kyle, his sister Emma, who was 4, and Katie, who was 2. So it's 3 kids and the mom, as well as Lori's mom, Cindy. When a 20, is that ton? T-O-N-N-E, I don't know what that is, a 20-ton truck traveling at 90 kilometers an hour slammed in the back of their van. Jesus Christ. Lord have mercy, y'all. Look at these pictures. God. It's crazy. This horrific, brutal accident took the lives of her 3 beautiful children, forcing Lori, along with her husband Chris, into an unimaginable future of grief and despair. But just 6 months later, Lori and Chris found themselves pregnant again, this time with triplets, 1 little boy and 2 little girls, which is what they had originally. The truck driver, oh my God, this makes me so mad. The truck driver was sentenced to just 364 days in jail and 5 years of probation. Isn't that speeding? How fast is 90 kilometers? I do miles, not, 90K to 55 miles an hour. God, and Jesus, that is pretty fast though to hit something. That's what I'll be telling y'all. It don't take much, honey. Oh my God, y'all, they were so cute. I'll never get over how adorable these children were. 40,000 pounds. Thank you. These little kids were so adorable. There's an episode of this. I want to say Dateline, or like, they look like little angel babies. Oprah? I don't know. It looked like their oldest held on for a little while before he passed away. The 2 girls were killed instantly. The oldest boy, who was 5, looks like he stayed alive a little while at the hospital, but they had to cut off his life support. What's crazy is these children look just like the other children. That's crazy. That was the triplets they had after they lost their first 3 children in a car accident. It's a crazy case. A year in jail. I mean, what was the speed limit? Was he speeding? Because if he was speeding, I feel like he should have went to jail for a little bit longer, but... Cotton tops. So, going back to the CEO, killer Luigi, the comments online are so funny. People were saying that they have a rat problem at McDonald's. Snitch. Somebody said snitches get stitches. And it says, why are the cops taking credit for finding him? A minimum wage McDonald's employee found him. So true, though. Yeah, I do not like that Eric Adams dude at all. So somebody says, so wait, some random dude from some random McDonald's in a place where the guy wasn't even supposed to be recognized. Hold on, supposed to be recognized, the suspect, but his former classmates did not. Funny, they can't catch Luigi, but they can catch Luigi, but they can't catch the person who left cocaine in the White House. Somebody said, I'm Luigi. You're Luigi. We're all Luigi. The comments. Free Mario Brothers. Ah. So it says, somebody, I found this interesting, and then I went to look if this person was telling true. Y'all remember the crook shooter, the Trump assassinator? We still don't have any information on him. We don't know anything about him. This person says, sounds like we already know everything about this kid, but we still don't know anything about the kid who shot Trump. I love watching people get roast. Somebody says, I love me some McDonald's. And somebody said, because you're simple-minded. They are going after each other. But OJ was actually guilty. Oh, Daniel Penny. So y'all know his charges were dropped. And a lot of people are pissed in New York. And people are, protesting and rah, 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 rah. Somebody said, but OJ was actually guilty. Penny saved lives. People saying that he was a great Christian man. People that served with him in the military were in the comment section saying he was a great Christian man. Daniel Penny, the subway, the man that killed somebody in the subway in a chokehold. So apparently the father of Jordan Neely, he was saying that he missed his son so much and he wanted his son to have a better life and, he wanted all of this positive stuff to happen for his son. And somebody says he misses his son so much that he allowed him to be homeless and did not help him with his drug addiction. Now, let's not blame the father, but I find it interesting, just like some of George's family, that it's only when shit hits the fan, and it might be in the best interest of their benefit, that they come out saying, oh, I loved him. I tried to do everything in my power for him. No, you didn't. He wouldn't have been living in a subway, homeless, on drugs. Like, I'm just saying people from the best upbringings don't really go that route. You know what I mean? They're not out in the subway doing drugs. That stems from somewhere. Now, there's some isolated cases where people just want to get high. I don't feel like Jordan was one of those people. I feel like Jordan was yelling for help and he needed it. Somebody said, going back to, I'm sorry, these are so mixed in. Going back to Luigi, somebody said, Luigi is not guilty. He was with me all last week. Somebody else said, I saw you guys together that day. People are not happy about him getting busted in there. Definitely keep your mouth shut. Never rat on your friends. They already found classmates, but they can't find who's flying the drones in New York. That's a whole nother thing that I don't know what's going on with that. I'm boycotting McDonald's for this. Yeah, they've been, someone said he should do a request trial by jury. Be judged by a panel of his peers. They'd probably find him like sorry, I'm looking at the process, the jurisdiction laws from New York to Pennsylvania, because it looks like he could request to not be extradited. They could prosecute him in Pennsylvania. I'm wondering what's the difference. So it looks like they don't enforce the death penalty in Pennsylvania. I was wondering if that's why they were going to do that, because I know New York ain't got the damn death penalty. That damn, let me see. I was wondering if that's why they had offered him the chance to stay in Pennsylvania. Yeah. No. So he'll end up with life without the chance of parole. Because this is such a national, worldwide case, in my opinion, they're not going to let this slide. United has millions and billions of dollars. It's a billion-dollar company. Three numbers, billion. And they're not going to let, they're going to prosecute him to the fullest extent of the law just because, these people are all friends. And I'm talking about United Healthcare and the elites. And he was an elite, but it doesn't sound like he was too happy about that. Especially since he had back surgery and was going through absolute hell and excruciating pain on a daily basis. I mean, he completely isolated. He wasn't talking to his friends. He ignored his own family that apparently were living under the same roof, because it's alleged that he was living with his mother when he went missing in November on the 18th. He's not being physically active. He dropped tremendous weight. Look at his booking photo, and then look at the picture of him buff with no shirt on. That's a whole different person. You don't go from this I mean, it kind of is like me last year when I got super freaking skinny from all the stress, and the depression, to this. Look how tiny he is there. He's lost a whole person. So something was going on with him psychologically, in my opinion. I think that the back surgery put him in a bad mental state. At that point, he had no interest in even having a girlfriend, having any kind of physical relationship, because it caused him so much immense pain. He also told a friend that it would interfere with a relationship, him not being able to be good to his girlfriend because of his back injury. So he just remained single. It sounds like at some point he become obsessed with Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, and he was angry about that back surgery, in my opinion. He was livid. And money's not an issue for him. So let's remember that surgery, it's not the financial cost of it, in my opinion. It's probably more of the psychological, physical state that he was left in after the surgery that made him do this, in my opinion. It wasn't that he was, he did not like big corporations as well. That's another thing. He was, yes, he was against capitalism, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Sorry, I wanted to see if something else was out about it. The isolation doesn't help. And then he's in extreme pain, probably, and he was depressed. Family did comment on that. He was not doing well because of this back surgery. I don't think it really has, yes, he hated corporate America, and I think that was just an added bonus, but I think the main motive was, I think that his mind went from the physical disability, that the state, the fact that he couldn't, live his life. I think that was the main motive, but I do think that there was like byproduct. I don't know. Do y'all get what I'm saying? So it looks like they might extradite him back to New York, because it looks like, yes, awaits extradition to New York City. And he got to pick where he wanted to be prosecuted. So it looks like he picked New York. He has no bond. He had multiple driver's licenses, by the way, and one of which was his own. Yeah, he did have a manifesto, but they've only released pieces of it. He said that these insurance giants had it coming, that he hopes that people forgive him for any trauma and strife that he may cause. I'm also wondering if he was on pain medication. If you had a back injury like that, they're going to be giving you some strong shit. I wonder if that caused his weight loss. That would also cause isolation, falling into drug addiction. Prescription drugs are some of the worst drugs that you can be addicted to physically. That would explain the weight loss, why he looks so disheveled, why he's pale, why he was isolating, and why he would say fuck it and throw his life away and kill somebody. I wonder. I don't know, but, he did just have back surgery, and y'all saw the x-ray. That ain't no light shit. They put a whole damn car bumper in his lower back. That can't feel good. I can only imagine. I was thinking last night, I was like, think about metal grinding into your bone. Like, they surgically insert that shit in there, like a bolt and screw. It can't feel good. And then this is a kid that's supposed to be active, that loves rock climbing, swimming, all these great things. He said, quote, "These parasites had it coming." These parasites had it coming. He also wrote that he was not working with anyone. So how did they misinterpret him having two accomplices? I don't know how they mess up this bad, y'all. And I don't think that they would have ever caught him if that damn worker wouldn't have called in. This was not good old-fashioned police work. This was good old-fashioned snitching. It's ridiculous. These cops want to take damn credit for everything, and they couldn't even damn offer a damn reward that could buy a house. Listen, this man, this $43 billion man, just lost his life. You don't think you can damn offer $100 grand? Like, call me crazy, but we passed $60,000. This is 2024. I'm gonna need $250,000. Like, at least. Like, I better be able to buy something nice so I can go hide from the mob of people that are gonna be pissed. 60 grand. But I guess, you know, that's more than a McDonald's worker makes in a year. Almost double. So, in certain areas. So, it's no surprise. He said, I do apologize for any strife or traumas, but it had to be done. Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming. The 3-page note criticized United Healthcare and the broader U.S. healthcare industry and corporations. So sad. An arrest warrant from Magoni, I can't say it right. An arrest warrant for him in New York State Court refers to the note as written admissions about the crime of killing Thompson. And they did ultimately charge him with murder this morning. Last night, they just charged him with gun charges and forgery to hold him, and I guess do a small investigation before they officially charged him with murder. As soon as I saw the picture, I knew it was him. The bushy eyebrows, the eyes, the teeth, the mouth. He was part of a wealthy Biltmore area family who reportedly suffered from chronic back pain. He graduated in 2020 from the University of Pennsylvania with both a bachelor's and a master's degree, so things went downhill after that. I wish... Yes, he was not interested in corporate America. He thought that they were the devil. I mean, once again, where's the lie? I ain't saying he's right, but if anybody has a point today, it's that corporate America is ruthless and evil, and they shit on the little people to make all of their money, and at the end of the day, they turn their backs on us time and time again. So, you know, look at companies like Planet Fitness, Walmart, Target. I mean, look at how they've been in the media. Bud Light. Look at how they behave. They actually behave like high school children when it comes to public matters and matters concerning the public. Like, you know, us, the people that pay them. McDonald's, too, the whole raising meal prices to damn $20 a damn combo. I mean, that was ballsies in the middle of a damn dark recession, you know? Silent recession. There we go. Dark recession is the first thing. I wanted to see when he had his surgery. When? Please let me read it. It's the New York Times. Please let me read it. So, Luigi see, this is what's crazy, because he's not this person anymore. Online versions of him, or the online version of him, was an Ivy League tech enthusiast who flaunted his tan, chiseled look in beach photos and party pictures with blue blazered frat buddies. That's another thing. Look at this picture of him and his sister. He looks like a whole different kid. He was I thought it was valedictorian until today. The more you learn, valedictorian of a prestigious Baltimore prep school who earned a bachelor's and master's degree at the University of Pennsylvania and served as head counselor at a pre-college program at Stanford University. And he actually taught at Stanford. He was an assistant. When he left there, that's when at some point he had a back surgery in between graduating in 2020 to 2022, somewhere between there, he had a back surgery. In 2023 is when he started isolating, and he worked and lived in Hawaii. Yeah. What else are you going to tell me? That's all y'all going to tell me? Hold on. Mr. Maloney was in regular contact with his family and friends until about 6 months ago, when he suddenly and inexplicably stopped communicating with them. He had been suffering from a painful back injury. He went dark. It looks like his whole inside circle was extremely concerned about him. They were all group texting each other. Has anyone heard from him? Is he okay? Where is Luigi? Those 6 months that he went dark will most likely become a focus for investigators. Yeah, because that's when his damn mind ate itself, apparently. Listen, I empathize with these people because I know what it feels like to be kind of like not able to walk, and I can't imagine what he was going through. I've never had a serious back injury, but I have been injured and not been able to take care of myself, you know? And I can't imagine how this 20-year-old boy wanted to get out and live his damn best life, and he can't. It looks like on X, he left behind a long series of postings about self-improvement, healthy eating, and technology, and a review of the Unabomber's Manifesto. In the wake of the attack, social media seethed with resentment against the insurance industry, and the unidentified suspect became sort of a folk hero. He came from a privileged upbringing, very privileged. His private school was $40,000 for 6 years. His grandfather, Nick Mangoni, Sr., and grandmother, Mary C. Mangoni, purchased the Turf Valley Country Club in Ellicott City, Maryland, in the 1970s, and developed the golf courses community. In the 1980s, the family purchased Hayfields Country Club in Hunt Valley, Maryland. It also founded nursing homes. That was another thing. They own a lot of like senior citizen nursing homes, which is very lucrative, let me just tell you. They funded an entire health service company. They owned a radio station, WCBM, which airs politically conservative programs and has other real estate holdings. And then his cousin, Nino Magoni, is an elect member of the Maryland House of Delegates. Delegates? The family's wealth and work with charity made it well known in Biltmore. It's such a well and respected family and such a prominent family within Biltmore County. Wait a second. He graduated with a bachelor's and a master's in less than 4 years? Dude, I can't even fucking finish an associate's. He did. He graduated high school in 2016, where he goes up and he thanks his parents. It's really cute, actually. He's like, thank y'all, all the teachers, the parents, for loving us and guiding us and being here for us. The tuition at that school was $40,000 a year, like I said, and his father sent him there for 6 years. He graduated in 2016 with his high school diploma, and then he went off to this one school. I can't think of the name of it. He went to Penn. He went to another school, Gillen. Anyways, if he graduated in 2016 with his high school diploma, and then he graduated in 2020 with a bachelor's and a master's, he was getting it in, honey. That's all I know. That's all I know. Ain't that crazy, y'all? It's really sad, actually. I want to know more about the past 6 months. I mean, and the way that they've been reporting on this, it sounds like they're going to tell us everything. It won't be like the Thomas Crooks case where they we still don't know. We still don't know what happened. I know what I think happened. I think Thomas Crooks was struggling with identity issues. Struggling with identity, baby. Sad position to be in. Look at this again. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Looks like. Y'all think that was necessary for a damn 22-year-old? 23-year-old? Because of some slip disc and a pinched nerve? So there was this activist online that went viral this morning for all the wrong reasons. She actually has been a huge advocate for defunding the police over the years, which in my opinion is pretty stupid. But what's ironic is that she was moving. Looks like she was moving. YouTube doing me dirty. It never kicked off the Wi-Fi. That was YouTube. It just shut off. So this girl who advocated to defund the police then has all of her personal property, her children's personal property, everything that she had for Christmas. Everything was stolen in this truck. First of all, this is her. Once again, she is a huge advocate to defund the police. So, hours after she had to file a police report because this was a U-Haul truck, and she called U-Haul and said, I don't know where the truck is. The truck was stolen out of my driveway. You know, have y'all seen it? And the U-Haul was like, you need to call the police and make a police report. So she calls the police. Well, hours later, the police still haven't found this truck, and she goes to social media complaining about the fact that the police have not found this truck, as if the cops are not extremely busy because they've been defunded. She says, quote, I haven't found much. The cops didn't do U-Haul made me file a effing police report. She says, there's cameras all over this city. They haven't done I want my stuff back. So she made a post on TikTok. She has 30,000 followers, and she teaches her followers that we shouldn't fund the police, listen, I don't like the cops because some of them are corrupt. That's completely different. I understand that we need police. I appreciate the good police, our service members, our workers that are patrolling the areas and stuff. If you ain't got no problem with me, then I ain't got no problem with you. But if you got a problem, then I don't like you. It's that simple. We need the police, And part of the reason that crime has skyrocketed in the past 4 years, because it has, statistically speaking, they've lied to us. We have new numbers. Crime has skyrocketed in pretty much every city in this country. our words are not even being reported because of the lack of investigative measures that investigators take now. People are just not, they're not snitching on crime like they used to. That's why the numbers might have seemed lower in the past, but the reality is we actually don't have enough police officers to even deal with all of the BS that we have going on out here because the police have been defunded. So it sounds like she was highly ticked off that the police were not out combing the streets for this big-ass U-Haul. And they said, please be sure to contact us back to provide the police report to the Equipment Recovery Department. This was through U-Haul. U-Haul said you have to file a police report. Then she's mad, she's mad that she even has to talk to police, first of all. Then she's mad that the police have not found her personal property, her and her children's things. And she took to social media to say, quote, look at these good Christian victim advocates celebrating my kids losing their belongings at Christmas. First of all, girl, where was the keys? You just leave the keys laying around? My keys are always on me. It sounds sketchy to start with, but also, you had to be somewhat negligent for this to even happen. That is a big-ass truck. Her story doesn't make sense. And it looks like she's going to lose everything because they still haven't found this truck. And she's mad. But I find it funny that she advocates that we don't need police at all. That we don't need police at all. And then when she needs the police, she's mad that they don't want to do their job. Well, girl, you've been out here for 6 years advocating to defund the police. Now you're upset that you need them and there ain't nobody to damn do an investigation. The irony. Yeah, how does that even happen? Oh, wow. Virgo score Sag. That's crazy. I believe you. I believe you. There's doctors everywhere using... Y'all, I gotta show y'all some videos today because there was a bunch of good ones on here and I gotta show you this because this is crazy. So there was I do believe he was an 81-year-old Korean, Japanese, I don't know. He's a little old man with an accent. That's why I bring it up, because you're not going to be able to understand half of what he's saying because, he's elderly. He got pulled over for some kind of basic citation. He was going to have to go to court, and a cop was going to have to show up for court, and it was going to be the cop's word against his type of thing. And the old man is trying to talk to the cop and negotiate with the cop, and the cop is like, no, this is not the place to negotiate. Pretty violent. It's kind of sad, but I need to play devil's advocate here because
Power on.
Even though
the Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Jesus.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Even though I don't like these guys, there's still a line that you can't cross.
Telling Vu to sign for a ticket, but he refused, trying to explain what unfolded along this stretch of road off Northwest 39th Expressway.
If you don't sign this, you go to jail, okay? I don't want to take you to jail.
I'm ready to go to jail.
You ready to go to jail?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
After giving another driver involved a ticket, the officer came back to Vu and his wife, standing in a parking lot. Another angle shows the encounter from store surveillance. You can see Vu touching the officer's arm, then exchanging words before being thrown to the ground. This is the view from the officer's body camera.
Sit up!
No.
You sit up!
Oh, wow.
Sit on the ground!
I feel like that's pretty excessive for a police officer to think like a old 71-year-old man could actually intentionally hurt him.
Toon Nguyen, president-elect for the Vietnamese American community of
Always
Oklahoma,
Vietnamese.
says Vu speaks English, but a language barrier escalated the situation.
You shouldn't argue with the cop and you shouldn't speak back, but in certain cases, I feel like you should be able to.
So I want to see it again because it's pretty. The little man would end up suffering brain bleed, fractured. The whole side of him that hit the ground, it fractured that entire side. His collar, and he was severely injured. This officer was arrested this morning. They charged him with several crimes. Yeah. So first of all, I just want to, devil's advocate, you are never to touch a police officer. You don't even want to be within a foot of them. You want to keep almost an arm's length circumference when in their presence. That was his first mistake. His second mistake was being argumentative. And we all know I love to fight with the police. So, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Oklahoma City Police releasing video from October 27th when Lit Vu was pulled over.
Lit Vu.
The officer telling Vu to sign for a ticket, but he refused, trying to explain what unfolded along this stretch of road off Northwest 39th Expressway.
If you don't sign this, you go to jail. Okay? I don't want to take you to jail.
I'm ready to go to jail.
You ready to go to jail?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
After giving another driver involved a ticket,
Watch him tap the officer.
Came back to Vu and his wife, standing in a parking lot. Another angle shows the encounter
right
from
here.
Store surveillance. You can see Vu touching the officer's arm.
And that's when he told him to shut up.
Before being thrown to the ground. This is the view from the officer's body camera.
Sit up!
No.
You sit up! Sit on the ground!
I feel like that's pretty excessive.
Yeah, it was excessive.
Like an old 71-year-old.
But they were both in the wrong. I feel like they were having a pissing contest. The officer knew that old people result back. Well, he should know. Let me tell him if he doesn't know. They start to act like toddlers again when they get to be this age. They become stuck in their ways. They won't compromise. They're defensive. This is part of being elderly that we don't talk about, that we need to talk about because it's a problem. He hit that officer. Now, whether it was a tap or it was a slap, it's still an officer. He was still being argumentative. He needed to sign for the damn ticket. He was refusing to do so. I don't see how the officer could have de-escalated this situation. He was trying to work with the man and not take him to jail. And shit just went south fast. The officer absolutely used excessive force on this little old man. Now, do I believe he should be charged with felonies? I do believe, let me search, that was Oklahoma. I do believe he was charged with felonies. I don't believe that he should be charged with felonies. Maybe a misdemeanor. Battery charge. But a felony? Like, sir, you hit an officer. I don't care which way you want to cut it. You put your hands on an officer of the law. I just don't agree with a lot of this stuff. And the wife, she just stood there watching everything. Like, girl, you can't tell your husband to chill the fuck out. I would have been like, listen, if you go to jail, I ain't got no bond money, so you're going to have to figure it out for the next damn year until you go to trial. Fuck around and find out if you want to. Honey, love ya. If I got the money, I'll come and get you. I mean, if we were married. But, like, it was some bullshit. Like, say, damn, somebody hit and injured you and you got out and punched them in the face. I can't blame you, especially if they was drunk. Like, there's mitigating circumstances to if I would bond your ass out of jail. I've never bonded somebody out because I don't play those type of games. You don't show up for court and then they got a warrant for my arrest. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm trying to figure out what he was charged with. So it looks like Joseph Gibson, who was only 28 and he was also a sergeant. What are we doing out here? Sergeant work is for 35, 45 and up. So he was charged with aggravated assault and battery and a connection. that a felony, though? Aggravated battery. It's a second-degree felony. You can get up to 15 years in prison. They do be throwing the book at their own, don't they? I'll give them props to that. I mean, usually, they did with Daniel Holcloth, or whatever his damn name is. We've seen recently, when it comes to sex offenses and child porn cases, Las Vegas, the officer that was busted out there, looks like they're going to throw the book at him. So I will say that when they prosecute their own, a lot of these states don't play around. Let me just verify that, because this is Oklahoma. Second-degree felony. Yeah, so, this officer is never going to be an officer again. He'll be damn going to prison. I want to see what the injuries the man suffered, because it was really bad. It wasn't just a brain bleed. Like, he could have died, severely injured him. He does deserve to do some time for that. I don't know about a felony, though. Y'all know how I feel about that felony shit. But did you die, though? You hit an officer, you were argumentative, you were not following commands, you refused to sign the ticket, and then you assaulted him. We got 5 strikes. You should have been out the first 3. If you wasn't damn 81, he wouldn't even have been that nice to you. 71. I can assure you, if that would have been me, the moment I begun to be argumentative, and he already had a ticket in his hand, and it was a traffic ticket, so he was breaking the law by speeding. He suffered a brain bleed, a broken neck, a broken eye socket, and he remains hospitalized. Damn, you better hope this son of a bitch don't die, because if he dies, you do deserve a felony. I didn't recognize it was all that injury. I mean, he was brutal, y'all. Hey, metalhead, Susan. They're strict about their own. They don't play around. They have a lot of corruption out there, Rachel. It's really bad in North Carolina. Like, they're all corrupt in North Carolina. Poor man. Let's go over here. I hope he lives, but you can guarantee if he doesn't, those charges will be upped to probably involuntary manslaughter. Something of the such. I mean, I kind of empathize with the officer a little more, because he kept giving the old man time and time again, chance and chance again. But, you know, there was a language barrier, so they say, and then he's 71. He's mentally becoming a toddler. Oh, yeah. See? The corruption, man. That corruption. Where's my play later? Look at me being all watch later. I wonder if people can see that. People be stalking my damn playlist and shit. It's so weird to me. Listen, y'all, I might click on your picture to see who you are, but I ain't about to damn go creeping through your YouTube page. See all your favorite music. I said, one of them had like, I don't know, over 1,400 views. I said, I said, who is viewing my playlist? 1,400 people. And then I went and looked at another one, and it was like a workout playlist or something. And it had like Megan Thee Stallion and Sexy Red. I wanted to die from embarrassment. I was like, I hope people know that, I was just listening to it to hear it. Like, I don't listen to that all the time. Sometimes when I work out, it's growing on me.
We
So
are
I want to
also
talk
learning
about
the suspect behind
the
a
triple
deadly stabbing spree
murder.
across Manhattan on Monday. 3 people were attacked at random, killed just a month after.
Let's see here. So there was a man that was let out of jail early who is clearly insane. Something is not right with him. I'm not making excuses because he should have been in jail. He should have never been released. He stabbed 3 people in a frenzied attack in New York City. He went on a stabbing spree less than a month after he was released from jail. But the craziest part of this entire, I'm gonna play a video for y'all in a minute. The craziest part of this entire story is that when he was pending trial in Rikers Island for a robbery charge, prior to being released before the stabbing frenzy, he actually assaulted a corrections officer, slammed her against the wall, physically attacked her. And typically when we see this in a corrections facility, it falls under the same rules as policemen who are on patrol. If you smack a guard in prison, you're going to catch outside charges. That means that you're going to be charged with additional crimes, usually assault on a government official, and you're going to be in prison longer. So this guy, I'm looking for his picture. He's clearly not well. Clearly not well. He was released out of prison. And he went on he killed a bunch of people. He killed 3 people, y'all. He just walked up to him and started stabbing. Literally horrific. Like, we're gonna watch this.
After that suspect was released from jail. Ramon Rivera, a homeless man with 8 prior arrests and a history of mental illness, got an early release from jail due to good behavior, raising questions about the circumstances leading to that release. And the I-Team's Melissa Russo is in the newsroom now. Melissa, I understand you have exclusive new details about that offer that got him out of jail early.
Yeah, we do. Basically, we've been looking into the past of this case, and it was completely impossible for the prosecutors and the courts and the city jail system to predict specifically that Ramon Rivera would be accused of killing 3 people 1 month after being released. But critics and criminologists say that there were some missteps, like a lenient offer by prosecutors and a lack of focus on Rivera's schizophrenia diagnosis that in hindsight should have been handled differently.
Ramon Rivera was on Rikers Island facing burglary charges when he got into deeper trouble in May. Rivera kicked a correction officer and smacked her into a wall after being sent to the Bellevue psych ward for his behavior in the jail. The incident could have resulted in a longer jail sentence that would have left Rivera behind bars last Monday, the day he allegedly stabbed and killed 3 innocent people. But court transcripts obtained by the I-Team show that in September, Rivera took a deal offered by the Manhattan DA's office. Plead guilty to attempted assault in exchange for 90 days in jail. But Rivera did not have to serve 90 extra days because the prosecutor said that sentence could be made concurrent with the other sentence Rivera was already serving. I don't anticipate this plea will change his expected release date, which is October 17th, 2024, the prosecutor said. The New York City Correction Department also could have kept Rivera incarcerated for the entire 364-day sentence, because after all, he assaulted a correction officer. But instead of remaining on Rikers until next February, law enforcement sources say the city's Department of Correction used its good behavior standard, which meant they released Rivera on October 17th after serving just 2/3 of his sentence. The city's Department of Correction has declined to explain why.
So he bitch slapped a corrections officer up in the prison, shoved her against the freaking wall, all but bitch slapped her. And they let him out on a good behavior program? Am I missing something here? Have I turned into Peanut? Let me tell you what happened here, because I know exactly what happened here. Allegedly, he was a lot to deal with. He's suffering from mental health issues. He's probably throwing food, smearing shit on the wall. You have no idea what the inside of these facilities look like. It looks like a mental asylum with a bunch of criminals. Mental health patients are being mixed in with criminals. I have no doubt that he has more than schizophrenia going on. But he shouldn't have been on the streets, number one, because he had pending charges that had not been handled. They cut him a plea deal just to get him out of there because after he assaulted this corrections officer, he was sent to a state hospital, a mental ward. Well, the mental ward sent him back to the jail, at which time nobody wants to deal with him. They are not equipped to deal with these type of people in mental hospitals, in the medical field, and corrections officers. They don't know how to deal with these type of patients. Let's not forget, the last time I was in jail, I saw some woman being waterboarded, or maybe it was a man, I don't remember. The officer said that they were cutting on their forehead and that they were putting blood everywhere, and so he opens up the cell door and just dashes water in this person's face. This is how corrections officers deal with mental health issues in these facilities. They cut him a plea deal, in my opinion, because they didn't want to deal with him. The state hospital had sent him back to the jail where he assaulted a female correctional officer, all but bitch slapped her. He didn't even face any time for that. They ran it concurrent just to get him out of the jail, in my opinion. So in my opinion, this is the state and the Department of Corrections' fault that these 3 people lost their lives, because Rivera should have never been on the streets to start with. They didn't know where to put him. They had no help. And he would go on to stab 3 people in an attack. It's crazy. These officers and mental health professionals are not prepared to deal with what we have going on out here in these people's heads. People are crazier than ever. And in the jails, they lock these people back in isolation with no book, no pen and paper, no phone calls, no visits. And these people are so mentally unstable that half the time they're not even eating. When the food comes through the door, they pick up the food and they throw the food. They try to hit officers with drinks. I witnessed this. They were borrowing and trading with the damn inmate when I was in jail because she wouldn't stop beating on the door. Her room, y'all, the entire walls were covered with human feces. Crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. Yeah, nobody wanted to deal with him, and that's why they put him back on the street, in my opinion. They didn't know how to deal with him. And he did. He stabbed 3 people. Let me look into that. I want to know what happened. And this was the same time who is this? Hold up. We got breaking news. Looks like they're wanting 3 teenagers in a stabbing. From what I can remember, the Rivera guy, he stabbed 1 person, and then the following day he stabbed 2 more people, at which time he was arrested. He should have never been let out of jail. They ran that sentence for him assaulting that correctional officer. They ran it concurrent. They could have kept him for 365 days, but instead they said, oh, he's already served 90 days. We'll just say that he served that 90 days for this charge, and they let him out. And then 3 people would go on to die, knowing good and well he was schizophrenic, knowing good and well that he was a danger. If he's slapping correction officers around, imagine what he's going to do to the general public, honey. They didn't want to deal with him, in my opinion. They didn't know how to deal with him. They don't have the resources to deal with him. They send him to the state hospital. The state hospital sends him back. They didn't want to keep him in jail any longer because they're going to have to put up with his bullshit. We actually see this a lot. This is very common that they do this. They let out mentally ill people who are a threat to society. We see it all the time. Where is this article? Come on, man.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch,
oh my God. Police have released video and photos of 3 men they say stabbed a migrant teen to death and wounded another one in Lower Manhattan. 2 migrants were stabbed, one fatally, in Lower Manhattan by a group of men who first asked if they spoke English. The 2 victims were approached by a trio of suspects on Broadway just before 7:40 p.m. Before the chaos, investigators say words were exchanged when one of the suspects asked the teens if they spoke English. When one replied no, that's when things took a turn for the worse. Yo. Police say the suspects punched and kicked the victims and then they were stabbed. They all fled on foot. Oh my God, a 17-year-old boy, Yerim, Colino. He lived at the Roosevelt Hotel. Is that the migrant hotel? He was stabbed in the chest and taken to the New York Presbyterian Lower Manhattan Hospital where he died. The second victim, an 18-year-old Alan Bellow, was stabbed in the left arm by a screwdriver and taken to the same hospital. He's expected to recover. I hope this is not kicking off some bullshit of like everybody doing crazy shit. The shooter, you know? Because a lot is going on in New York, y'all. Ouch. So y'all remember yesterday when I told you that there was a person who robbed the district attorney in New York? That was a TDA gang member. His name is Samosa, and he's facing multiple charges, including sexually motivated robbery. Apparently, this little weirdo broke into the district attorney's apartment, robbed her, he committed some kind of lewd act. Listen, one can only assume that I don't know. I don't think I can say that on here. He committed some kind of lewd act on her. And so he was charged with that. He's a 25-year-old man who robbed... It just freaking disappeared. Oh, he robbed him and exposed himself to the district attorney. Brandon Samosa confronted the 38-year-old woman in the hallway of her apartment. He asked her for money before exposing himself and performing a lewd act. During the confrontation, the woman dropped her phone, which Samosa grabbed from the floor before fleeing the scene. He also stole credit cards and her purse and cash. He's an illegal immigrant with ties to the TDA, the gang, the Venezuelan prison gang. Police say the gang has been linked to a rise in thefts and robberies in New York City, with crimes often targeting women carrying purses or cell phones. Lovely. Samosa is facing multiple charges, including sexually motivated robbery, sexually motivated burglary, grand larceny, and drug possession. What drug did he have? I told y'all, a lot of these weirdos be on drugs when they commit these types of crimes. So it looks like the TDA gang is all over the damn East Coast now. Tennessee, New York, Maryland, Minnesota, where else? Pennsylvania. the TDA gang is going to be hard to get rid of. But it looks like Trump is gonna do something with immigration. He's looking to end birthright citizenship in this country. He said on a podcast or whatever this morning I saw, he said that it's unfair to the lines and lines of people who have been waiting to immigrate to this country. It is not fair that illegals got to come over the border and birth children here and then stay in this country. He's planning to end birthright citizenship in this country. So that's one of the things that he has been saying for 5 years. So why people are surprised now, I'll never understand, because that's what he ran on, was deportation. So I don't know why people are surprised that he's going to end this Dreamers program. And he's essentially said that they're gonna have to, the first people that'll go will be the gang members, the criminals, the people that are known affiliated with gangs and crime. Those will be the first to go, and then they will decide case by case who gets to stay and who doesn't when it comes to the anchor babies. Isn't it crazy that they stopped using that term? The left started that. They started anchor babies. Then they stopped using it. I find that interesting. So it looks like the Department of Homeland Security put out a list a few weeks back. God, I hope I'm not breaking out. It looks like there's 16 states that have been confirmed to have the TDA gang in it. The gang already has footholds in California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Louisiana, Nevada, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Wisconsin. They were also linked to Washington, D.C., Virginia, Montana, and Wyoming. So they have a map here. Why is Florida on there? Florida wasn't on the list. The TDA is mainly Venezuelan nationals, though. They are. Most of them were actually let out of a prison in Venezuela. Huh. Please don't back into me. You got shit on top of your car, buddy. You have boxes on your car. Oh. Uh-oh, 7 minutes ago. Suspect of the killing of the United Healthcare CEO struggles and fights in court. What? No way. Waiting on my computer. Always. I need to throw this trash away so my car doesn't smell like damn. Struggles and shouts while entering the courthouse. Altoona, Pennsylvania. Is that how you say it? So it says he showed up with deputies and shouted Tuesday while arriving for a court appearance in Pennsylvania a day after he was arrested at the McDonald's and charged with murder. Luigi Nicholas Mangoni emerged from the patrol car, spun around towards reporters, and shouted something partly unintelligible, referring to insult to the intelligence of the American people. So they are taking him back to New York to face murder charges. So they say that he was likely motivated by his anger for what he called the parasitic health insurance company and disdain for corporate greed. A law enforcement bulletin said, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but I also think that it has to do with him being injured himself and not having the physical capabilities to live a normal life because of the pain that was put on him. And I genuinely wonder if he even needed that damn back surgery. People are evil, y'all. These doctors are evil. They will absolutely maim somebody in hopes of getting them physically addicted to drugs for years, painkillers. And hell, when you get depressed, then they'll give you some Xanax, and then they'll give you something else, and then they'll... Listen. Only this kid knows what happened to him. But I just don't see in what world a 22-year-old needs that many damn bolts and screws in his damn back for disc and a pinched nerve. If he had broken his back, absolutely, oh God, or I don't know. But it just doesn't sound right, and if it doesn't sound right, it's probably not true. I think he was motivated. I think he was sitting around, isolated, depressed, feeling sorry for himself because, he had the right to be. He's physically incapable of surfing and doing the things he wanted to do, rock climbing. He doesn't even have friends anymore because of this, because of the pain he's in. And I think that he ran across Ted Kaczynski. And I think he drove himself to commit murder. Like, he went insane. He went dark. He went to the other side. And he was a very intelligent person. That's what makes it so sad. But it seems like he didn't even like his own family a lot. Like I said, they said in a report that he was distancing himself from his family and their money. Their money being the key word. When you grow up in a rich home like that, you don't really have, from the outside to, I'm sure, poor people, it looks like you have it made, but something about, people that grow up in rich homes like that, like Barron Trump, from an early age, they are taught a certain level of class and sophistication, and they're also expected to behave a different way than regular kids. Think about the Royals kids, Kate and William's kids. Those kids are brought up very prestigious. Do you get what I'm saying? So it might look like from the outside, because he came from money, that he had this perfect life, but we don't know what he went through. I know that he went through hell with his back. And this is a 26-year-old man who should have been having the time of his life, and he doesn't even want to have a girlfriend because he knows that he can't be a boyfriend to a girlfriend because of his back injury. How sad. How sad. Oh, shit. I forgot to put the board up. How sad. Let's throw this away in this bathroom. I gotta pee. Compute me. Yeah, I'm sure he was frustrated. I mean, to damn go through all that. Something that I found interesting is that they allegedly caught him with $10,000 in cash, but Luigi is saying that that wasn't his money, that was a setup, that they planted that money. I don't know. He said he didn't have that money. He said the gun and ID, yeah. And it was a printed gun, which was weird because can a printed gun even shoot bullets? I didn't think so. Where's the murder weapon? Oh my God. They got music on, and I probably smell like oysters from where we've been sitting in the car with those oysters. That oil stinks. Should be pissing me off. Well, at least the Wi-Fi worked. 90% of the time, I usually have more issues than this, but I don't come to this part of town much, so I think I got up at like 4 o'clock this morning, mad. I'm like, why am I up? I want to sleep. Ever since I came off the Suboxone and stopped smoking weed like I was, I can't sleep. Welcome to the realities of being sober and under a lot of stress at all fucking times, I honestly, look back on this year and I don't know how I've made it because it's been the hardest year of my life. Hands down, the hardest year of my life. Like, I thought prison was bad. That was a breeze into comparison to this past year. A breeze. Prison was much easier than living out of a fucking car and being homeless and completely indigent. Much easier. Oh. Well, I'm about to run. I didn't feel like doing makeup today because I don't need it, so I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Glad I got a new tire, but all of these tire mishaps, I don't know. Make me want to move to damn Bali and buy a damn bicycle. I'll tell you that much. Hope y'all have a good afternoon. Probably going to the beach. It's supposed to be nice. It's 77 right now, but it feels like 81. So it's nice out. It's just gonna be crazy traffic. So I'm going to get over there before it gets crazy. But I will talk to you guys later. And I'm sorry, Laura, that you're going through a lot, but sometimes you have to separate yourself from the people you love to be able to continue to love the people you love. I ain't even got people that I want to see on a daily basis as far as like in person, you know. I can't do that every day. I have, once again, attachment issues, so I do wish that my mom was alive, but I don't know what relationship we would have if she was. It probably wouldn't be a great one, because she was never the type of person that could take responsibility for her actions, and I do believe that that's why I, like, make an honest effort to be like, yeah, I fucked up, when I do fuck up. But, you know, being that type of person where you admit wrongs, if you do that too much, openly, then people expect you to take fault in shit that you didn't do, which is crazy, you know? Like, you're the scapegoat then, because they know that you'll take responsibility for your actions. For shit that you didn't do, they'll still expect you to take responsibility for it. It's crazy. I hope that y'all have a good day. Y'all be safe out there, and we'll talk later. Y'all be safe. Bye, y'all. Pray for me. I need it. Praying for you guys. Bye.